Hi, and welcome to another episode of War Thunder Tutorials. A good player is always patient and careful, while a player that managed to accumulate enough experience and money to buy top tanks is even better. Because seriously, who won't benefit from having 300mm of solid steel for front armor? But there are true pros out there that have no fear even when going against such walls of steel, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You just have to know where to shoot. These pros know every vulnerable nook and cranny on even the mightiest of tanks. Should you decide to watch this video, you will know them too. Welcome to Top 5 Notoriously Tough Tanks of War Thunder, and how to kill them. Okay, it's simple. You just shoot them in the side, or better yet, the rear. That's it. Bye now. Well, it's not that simple, of course. It is obvious that any tank is more vulnerable to attacks from sides and rear, where traditionally the armor is less thick, so I don't think we need to make a tutorial dedicated to that obvious fact. Okay, today we're going to tackle heavy tanks from up close so you can better see where to shoot. We will also be using weaker vehicles to make this demonstration transparent, so that critics can't later say that we kill our targets only because we brought a large caliber gun to do so. So, no cheating there. Number 5. T32. This mighty Tier 4 American is well known for its extremely good frontal armor, so we won't even bother doing that because the thinnest part of front armor is about 300mm thick, while a T32 with a good crew can reload its cannon every 14.5 seconds, which is very fast for a Tier 4 heavy tank. So you have to be extremely careful when dealing with this enemy. So how do you kill it? Let's start with the lazy approach. First, take out its gun and then try to get around it, hoping that you can kill it before T32 can fix its gun. Which is actually not such a bad idea overall. Better yet, let's take a closer look at the enemy. As you can see, there's a bolt gun at the left side of the frontal armor, which is about 130mm of armor. Directly behind is the radio operator/gunner and main gunner, and you can also see a tiny little bit of the ammo storage, just enough to send this T32 back to its hangar with one well-placed shot. Another major vulnerability is its bottom front armor, all because of not so steep angling there. So if you see some T32 that has its entire front exposed, you can penetrate it into that bottom front armor, a shot that is likely to neutralize the driver and destroy the ammo rack behind him. Number 4. T95. A second American to make it to the list as an SPG, that people often call a Doom Turtle, because, well, this thing is very slow and extremely armored. So well armored that thing is that in fact, even post-war heat shells do not guarantee penetration. But look at these nice and large commander's cupolas. Should you hit and pen one of those, you can easily knock out several crew members and damage the cannon. You can also try shooting a large caliber HE round underneath the bottom of the turtle, which works very well but takes a certain amount of skill and luck to do so, so please practice doing that before you meet your Doom Turtle in combat. Number 3. Mouse. This is one fat German rodent right there. Without a doubt, this is the thickest tank in the game. But really, this beast is tough only when it's angled its armor against incoming shots in time. Otherwise, the mouse is easily penetrated by any top tank shells if you're shooting the turret cheeks, which kills the gunner easily first and then explodes the ammo stored behind the gunner. But what's even better is that a lone mouse is completely defenseless up close. If you can engage the mouse in mobile combat, you will make this fat vermin expose its weaker armored sides and rear, which will surely be welcomed by your gunner, eager to kill this large and slow target. Number 2 is IS-4M. Most of the Soviet top heavy tanks are considered OP by many players, especially those playing other nations. I personally often hear this, that if an IS is looking at you, you better run. The frontal armor of an IS-4M is angled at 60 degrees. This is amazing and makes most shells just bounce off. But even this invulnerable Achilles has its proverbial heel. Note the small triangle of 30mm armor right underneath the gun mantlet. Any high caliber HE round hitting that spot kills the driver and can shred all the frontal modules of the tank inside. You can also try hitting the bottom front armor, which, while tough, does not have the same good angling as the top frontal armor. But a truly sweet revenge is yours should an IS-4 try and angle its armor to you. Its side cheeks usually have shells stored behind them, which gives any penetrating round a very good chance of killing the entire tank in one hit. Number 1. IS-3. The history of this tank is full of suffering and pain. Enemy suffering and pain, though. This tank had once caused so much hurt that developers have decided to increase its BR on par with IS-4M. The famous Pike Nose of his makes this tank especially tough when engaging it up front. You can still kill it though by attacking it from the sides or by shooting the angle of the Pike Nose from the side as well. But if you have met the IS-3 on a narrow street, you still have a chance, a very small one, literally. Note this little hole in the gun mantlet. Now, a well-placed APCR shell is almost guaranteed to kill half the crew, giving you time to finish it with a side shot. Do not bother trying to penetrate that hole with an HE round or anything else for that matter, because you will need a truly spectacular aim and no small amount of luck to do so. Bonus! T10M. Wait, did we say top 5? Well, here's another, a bonus. This tank appeared in the game not so long ago and is already considered yet another OP Soviet tank, but it too, just like the rest, has its share of vulnerable spots. Above all is the commander's cupola that can be penetrated to kill the crew and make the ammo rack go boom. Next up is a thin stretch of armor below the gun mantlet, a legacy from the IS-4M that can be destroyed with an HE round. Finally, there's a tricky HE round fired below the bottom of the tank, which is hard to do, yes, but it looks spectacular, don't it? One final word of advice, do not get carried away with these tricks. A true tank ace knows not only his target's vulnerabilities, but is also flexible in his application of tactics. If you can outflank the enemy and kill it with one placed AP round in the rear, without exposing yourself to enemy fire, do just that. When choosing between a spectacular shot and a kill shot, always go for the kill. That's it for today, I hope you liked it, see ya.